Hello all. In this video, we are going to study two important topics from the chapter Peasants, Zamindars and the State. First, we will understand the flow of silver and how trade and silver strengthened the Mughal economy. Then we will study the Ain-e-Akbari written by Abul Fazal Alami, which gives detailed information about the administration, economy and society during Akbar's reign. Flow of silver. Let's understand the powerful Asian empires first. During the 16th and 17th centuries, several large territorial empires existed in Asia. When I say territorial empire, an empire controlling a large area of land. Important empires were Mughal Empire that was in India, Ming Empire that was in China, Safavid Empire that was in Iran, and Ottoman Empire that was in Turkey. These empires had strong political control and stability. Growth of trade networks. Political stability helped create strong trade networks across Asia. Overland trade routes connected China, Central Asia, Mediterranean region. These trade routes allowed the movement of goods and wealth across continents. Impact of voyages of discovery. European explorers discovered new sea routes and the New World, that is America. This discovery greatly expanded trade between Asia and Europe. India became an important center of international trade. Expansion of India's overseas trade. India's trade expanded in two ways. One is geographical expansion, that is, trade links increased with more regions of the world. And the second one is commodity expansion. A great variety of goods were traded. Examples of goods exported from India included textiles, spices, indigo, and agricultural products. Large inflow of silver into India. European traders bought Indian goods. To pay for these goods, they brought silver bullion into Asia. What do you mean by the word bullion? Pure metal such as silver or gold in bulk form. A large portion of the silver came to India. Importance of silver for India. India did not have natural resources of silver, therefore the inflow of silver from trade were very beneficial for the Indian economy. Growth of currency system. Between the 16th and 18th centuries, there was stable availability of silver coins. The most important coin was silver rupiah. This stability helped in minting more coins, increasing circulation of money in the economy. Meaning of minting: production of coins in the mint. Benefits to the Mughal state. The circulation of silver coins helped the Mughal government to collect taxes in cash, increase revenue collection. This strengthened the financial system of the Mughal Empire. Account of Giovanni Cari. Giovanni Cari, an Italian traveler, visited India around 1690. He described how silver traveled across the world and reached India. His account also shows that large cash and commodity transactions were common in 17th century India. Now let's move on to the Ain-e-Akbari of Abul Fazal Alami. Now, what is Ain-e-Akbari? Ain-e-Akbari was written by Abul Fazal Alami, the court historian of Emperor Akbar. It was prepared on the orders of Akbar. It was composed in the year 1598, the 42nd regnal year of Akbar. Regnal year, that means the number of years a ruler has been on the throne. The Ain-e-Akbari was the result of a large administrative and historical project undertaken by Abul Fazal. Relation with Akbarnama. The Ain-e-Akbari in the third book of Akbarnama. The Akbarnama consists of three books. The first book describes the history of Akbar's ancestors and early life. Second book talks about the events of Akbar's reign. Third book, that is NCERT, contains administrative regulations and detailed information about the empire. Now please make a note of this words. It is going to be important for the coming topics. Compendium. Okay, what do you mean by this? A collection of detailed information. Then gazetteer, a geographical dictionary or directory describing places. Moving on to nature of the NCERT. The NCERT is a compendium of imperial regulations. It also acts as a gazetteer of the Mughal Empire. It provides detailed information about the empire's administration, economy and society. It includes information about organization of the imperial court, administration, army, sources of revenue, physical layout of provinces, and cultural and religious traditions of the people. Why was this data collected? What was the importance of data collection? The collection of information was an important imperial exercise. It helped the emperor understand customs and practices of different regions, economic conditions, administrative structure of the empire. The aim provides quantitative information about the Mughal provinces. What is quantitative information? That means information expressed in numbers or statistics. What was the perspective of the aim? The aim gives a view of the empire from the center. When I say center, from the imperial court. It represents society from the apex. Apex is nothing but the highest point, that is the top level of the power. This means the information reflects the viewpoint of the Mughal administration, not necessarily the viewpoint of peasants or ordinary people. Now let us get to understand about the structure of the NCERT. It consists of 5 books called daftars. What do you mean by daftar? A book or administrative record. Now let's talk about the first book, Manzil Abadi. This book describes the imperial household. It includes organization of the royal household, maintenance of the court, details about royal servants and officials, management of the palace administration. The second book, Sipa Abdi. This book describes the military and civil administration. It includes information about the army, details of imperial officials called Mansabdars. When I say Mansabdars, that means Mughal officials who held ranks and military responsibilities. It also includes, that is the second book, Sipa Abdi. It also includes biographical sketches of officials, scholars, poets, artists. Moving on to the third book, Mulk Abdi. This book deals with the fiscal system and revenue administration of the empire. Fiscal system, it related to government, revenue and taxation. This section contains detailed statistical information about the provinces. It includes information about revenue rates, geographical features, economic conditions, administrative divisions. Information about provinces. The aim gives an account of the 12 provinces, that is Subas. For each province, it records geography, topography, economic profile, administrative divisions. Now let us talk about the administrative divisions mentioned. The provinces were divided into Suba, that is province, Sarkar, district, Pargana, it is a sub-district, Mahal, revenue unit. Now let's understand about the statistical tables in the aim. For each Sarkar, Abul Fazal prepared tables containing 8 columns of information. These columns included Pargana or Mahal, that is the administrative unit, that is what in the first column. In the second column, it is sports, that they will call it as Khila, and the third column they will call it as Arazi or Zamin-e-Paimuda, that means measured land area, and the fourth column it had Nagdi, that is revenue assessed in cash, and the fifth column Suyurgal, that is revenue grants given as charity, and the sixth one is Zamindars, and the seventh one is caste of Zamindars, and the eighth one is military resources including Savar. Savar is nothing but horsemen. Piada, foot soldiers, frill elephants. So this section provides a detailed picture of agrarian society in northern India. Now let us move on to the fourth and fifth books. The last two books describes religious tradition, literary traditions, cultural life of the people of India. They also contain Akbar's auspicious sayings. Now, methods used by Abul Fazal. The manuscripts was revised 5 times to ensure accuracy. Abul Fazal cross-checked oral testimonies before including them in the text. Numerical data were written in words to avoid copying errors. This shows Abul Fazal's efforts to maintain authenticity and accuracy. You must be wondering that the work was done so good, but there are limitations too. So, limitations of the NCERT. Historians have identified some limitations in the aim. Errors in totaling is the first one. So some arithmetical mistakes appear in the data. These mistakes were probably made by assistants of Abul Fazal. However, these errors are minor. And second one is uneven data collection. Information was not collected equally from all provinces. For example, detailed data about Zamindar caste exists for many provinces, but such data are missing for Bengal and Orissa. Limited information on prices and wages. The aim provides some data on prices and wages. However, these data mainly come from areas near the imperial capital, Agra. Therefore, they may not represent conditions in other regions. So, let us understand the importance of NCERT. The NCERT is important because it provides detailed information about Mughal administration. It contains statistical data on revenue and agriculture. It helps historians understand agrarian society during Akbar's reign. It is considered a major historical source for studying the Mughal Empire. We have come to the conclusion. So in this video, we learned how the flow of silver increased trade and strengthened the Mughal financial system. We also studied the NCERT, an important historical source that helps us understanding the administration and economy of the Mughal Empire. Please revise the important points and try to answer the 8-mark questions on your own. And we will see you in the next video with the next topic. Until then, thank you.